what impressed me about him was I noticed the same thing. That first round, he came out a little patient, smart boxing. He was showing Des Moranis, the southpaw, a little respect. Didn't walk into shots, but also when he had him hurt with that liver shot, he knew exactly where to place his punches after. And it's hard to land that same shot because the guy is guarding that position, right? He's guarding that spot. So in order to get back to that spot, and Des Moranis is a crafty vet in his own right. He's a top 10, legit top 10 guy at the weight class. So he's guarding that spot. But in order to get him to stray away from that spot, you have to throw punches somewhere else. So he's throwing punches back upstairs. He's throwing punches to the other side of the body and getting him away from that spot. And then he lands the same shot 2 more times, D-Style. 2 more times. All right. So
in the same
that's
spot.
what's impressive about Inoue. And it's really ironic that Tank Davis was talking about it before the fight. I don't know if you caught him on Ellie Sackback's channel. He was talking about how big of a fan he is of Inoue because of the punch placement. That's one thing that the boxers notice about him is his punch placement. To me, it's him and Canelo. And it's once again ironic that these two guys are the top of the pound for pound rankings right now, and we'll get into that later on, is the punch placement. Separates them from other fighters. Canelo can land uppercuts and body shots from the outside, right? Which they teach you not to throw those shots from the outside in the gyms. But these guys are so good at punch placement, and they have such great technique that they can land those shots from the outside. Then they can fight on the inside as well. But the punch placement is what separates this guy from a lot of other fighters not named Canelo. Because those two guys right now in the game are the two top at punch placement, right?
Well, I would include Crawford there.
Crawford's up there.
But aside from that, man, these guys have here's what Inoue has. And a lot of fighters fight in patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Inoue does not fight in a pattern. Like there's no like a sequence that you see in him. He's very reactionary to whatever his opponent is doing. You know, if he throws a right hand, like what he does next depends on what you do. It's not like a pre-coded like most fighters have. It's they're going to throw the right hand and they're going to follow it up with a hook or something like already in their head. You know what I mean? They work on combinations and then they throw those combinations. In a way, it's not like that, man. And there's a handful. He's not the only one, but there's a handful of fighters that are like that. But the other thing, man, and I seen like footage like on Twitter especially, and some on Instagram of how they compare him to like Joe Louis. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know that could be like a very strange comparison, but it really isn't. Like he does a lot of things very similar to Joe Louis, like and they'll show it like side by side, the way he sets up a counter, the way like this is a fighter who's improving. He's still young, believe it or not, and he's got a long ways to go, man. Like
he's still young. That's scary.
Yeah,
that's scary that he's probably just entering his prime, if he's there.